Hey everybody, I just want to address something that's going on out there in social media. You see it everywhere right now, the 3D versus 5D timeline split, where Earth is splitting into two Earths, 3D versus 5D, fear versus love. Is that true? We'll talk about everything today on Earth 1111. Hey, it's Roxanne, Earth 1111. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, and make sure you share the video. It really helps my videos get out to more people. And comment below what you're going through. It always really helps other people to know that what they are going through is okay. So I'm going to talk about today the 3D versus 5D timeline split, right? Where Earth is splitting into two Earths. Are we going to see the people on the other Earth ever again, right? There's all these, I'll call them myths for now, going on in social media. You see it everywhere on all the memes right now. You hear everyone talking about it. Is it true? Are we splitting into two Earths right now? So today I'm going to tell you actually something you probably haven't heard before, but we are in infinite versions of Earth. We already are. So right now we are moving through the fourth dimension, which is extreme duality. Separation consciousness, right? 3D is really chaotic, just programming. Unconscious programming. So that's where 3D is. You don't really know of something being good or bad. You don't really care. You don't notice. You just go through the motions based on old programming from childhood, ancestry, right? From your past lives, things like that. Okay, so when we talk about 4D, this is what the entire world is going through. Extreme separation of people way over here on this side and other people way over here, where you can't even really come to an equal understanding. So we got to realize that we are moving towards this, and the reason why is because 4D is the transition between being unconscious, 3D, and being completely unified, which is 5D. 5D is about being in your heart, existing at your greatest purpose, your life mission, and acting with others as well as yourself equally in balance, right? Balance of spirit and the body and the mind, right? Balance of everything. So it's a 0 point where everything literally is anchored into the heart. The entire universe. Again, I'll talk about all that in an upcoming video this week, talking about advanced ascension and oversoul embodiment. So I'll talk about that here soon. So let's get into the 3D versus 5D. Now, we already experience this every single moment of our lives, right? We've all woken up on the wrong side of the bed, and we're just irritated right off the bat. We're in a bad mood. And what happens? We leave the house, right? Forget something, stuck in traffic, can't find a parking stall, right? Someone pisses you off when you're driving. This person gives you bad news. It's drama, it's chaos, it's everything that you don't want the whole day, right? And all of us have woken up on the right side of the bed, which is, of course, you wake up and everything's just amazing. You feel that flow. You feel happy, ecstatic. You already are walking around excited for the day, right? Again, right now it's not happening that often for most people, but we've all experienced that, right? We also experience that when we are in love, in that honeymoon stage, where nothing can piss us off. Nothing can take us out of our mojo, of that just lovey-dovey feeling, right? So what all of those are is you are already experiencing a higher timeline, a more expansive timeline, a more anchored in your heart and balanced timeline, or a more unconscious timeline, right? A timeline of separation, of duality, of seeing everything you don't want, right? That's when we wake up on the wrong side of the bed. We go through our day and we're in a low timeline. So what happens? Everything you don't want. Of course, when we wake up in a good mood, and like I said, other times when we're in love, when we're in the flow, we're excited about something, everything just works out. Those times you are more existing in your heart, because higher timelines, higher dimensions are always closer to the center of your core. Sorry. I definitely wouldn't pass a drunk test there, would I? Closer to your center, which is your heart vortex. It's a stargate to higher dimensions. When you're out here grasping on to outside realities, outside things, those are the times when you're in a low timeline, because you're subjected to everything out there pissing you off. Or, you know, like I said, right, you might be emotional. You might expect a certain result. If you don't get it, then you're upset. And then what happens? You get more irritated, that you get even more existing in separation consciousness, away from your power, away from your ability to be centered, feeling that flow 24 hours a day. So let's get back to the 3D versus 5D timeline split. So we are already in an infinite versions of Earth. There's not just 3D and 5D. We have, like I said, of course, 3D is like a category of a whole bunch of grids, all being unconscious programming. I see them as all these wormholes, almost like a bunch of shoelace knots. So we have infinite knots, and we exist in those knots, and that makes us operate from, you know, we feel stuck, we feel we can't move forward, nothing goes our way, we feel lack, we don't have any money, right? All of these timelines are unconscious programming that we're told, which creates these energy patterns in our field, and then we act like that, and then it reinforces those. So that's what, again, everyone has always existed typically in their 3D state, 3D, 4D state, until they start waking up. So this is everyone. This is not just for judging people right now. This is just an understanding of the process. So when we get to 4D, now we're undoing all of these shoelace knots, all of these programming. Like I said, I see them as wormholes through the grid, through my body. Physically through my body. Well, not physically, energetically. But what happens is we undo all of these back to 0 point. The 0 point is always your heart vortex, right? It's your nervous system running up and down through your spine, out the top of the head, out your feet and your tailbone, right? Down into the earth and up into the cosmos. This is your anchor into your 0 point, into your ascension column, your rainbow light body, all these different names. So that's what 0 point is. 0 point is a centering, a balanced energy where you don't feel like you're being pushed and pulled around, right? That's what 3D is. 3D is you live exactly in those programming, those wormholes, which then you just move through the motions wherever it takes you. You don't really create change for yourself. You don't take back your power and start making a change in your life, start making a difference, start doing something different. Start choosing love versus fear. So every moment you are choosing 3D or 5D Earth, right? 4D, again, it is not a stable dimension. 4D is the unwinding. So undoing these shoelace knots, right? The programming that we have in the 3D matrix, every time we undo one of these knots, it's just like the shoelace, right? When you're undoing a shoelace knot, right, you have to kind of make it bigger. It expands to then allow yourself to undo the shoelace back to the 0 point, right? So things expand as they are being released. And this is what's happening in the outside world. This is why we're seeing everything bad right now, all the bad people. Everything just seems to be all happening at once. The world is going into chaos. Again, it has to happen. Chaos has to happen to undo all of these programs that not only exist in your body, but exist in the outside world, right? These are society's programs about the way that we exist, how we live our life, structures, systems. All of those are collapsing again. When they collapse, they have to become expansive, bigger, more in your face, more pressure from these systems that are losing their grip. So never be worried about it. It's happening all out there for a reason, because it's meant to be dissolved, right? Every time we undo the shoelace knot, it has to get bigger to then get back to 0 point, which is essentially no knot. And then you are free to move all the time, to exist however you want, to manifest anything you want through your own stargate, which is your own gateway. This is becoming a gatekeeper and a grid keeper. So another myth that we hear is how the people on 3D Earth are going to be all of a sudden removed from Earth and exist in another planet that is also just like Earth, where they have no idea that they switched planets. right? We've all heard this as part of the 3D versus 5D timeline split theories. Now we need to realize that 3D people aren't just going to be sloughed off to some random planet out there, because the whole part of our area of the universe is upgrading to a higher dimension. So yes, there is probably other areas in the galaxy and the universe, well, not the galaxy, but more the universe, that will be experiencing, right, more lows of consciousness, right? This is the cycle of life, highs and lows. But the 3D people, and again, we all experience this from day to day, moment to moment. So if you find yourself, going through it, having a flip out, really, being emotional, all these different things. If you feel like you're being attacked by these entities in 3D, or you are affected by all the news or all the things going on, you feel fear, you feel hopelessness, you feel rage. Again, if you're experiencing this for a matter of a few hours, maybe a day or two, good, because you're getting rid of this. So what happens again, as the parts of us are healing, they become expansive, they become overwhelming, because they're being released from your physical body, from your reality. So that's a good thing. But if you find yourself being in these situations, in this rage, maybe you're in fear, you feel stuck for long periods of time, really pay attention to yourself, to every single thing you're doing. Are you eating poorly? Are you eating chemical foods? Foods, right? Essentially chemicals, packaged food. Are you drinking tap water? Maybe you're around people that are in fear. Maybe you are consuming the news or other fearful programming, right? You're on social media arguing with people. You might be angry about what's going on. You just can't get over it because you can't understand why no one gets it, why no one wakes up and no one else is angry. But you need to realize what thoughts you have going on in your mind, right? You'll find you have these repetitive thoughts, thinking the same thing over and over, being pissed off, and then you reinforce it by allowing yourself to be in this thought loop, or allowing yourself to eat poor food, or to be around dense energy. Maybe other people are unloading on you. You're in a job that's really draining you, a relationship. Really analyze your life right now, because you can really make a shift. Guess what? Now you've shifted, and you've shifted out of 3D Earth, 3D version of Earth, into a higher version of Earth. Now you start seeing above the clouds. You start seeing, wow, I can get out of this. I can start doing this to make more money, to now be able to quit my job. Or I can focus on more positive things. I can allow myself to be happy for a moment, right? So find out what you can do. And then you will move timelines, move versions of Earth. Now you're existing in maybe 4D Earth or 5D Earth, right? If you're feeling that blissful state and everything's flowing perfectly, and you feel amazing and excited and blissful and happy, well, you're in 5D. 5D, again, is just a balanced state in your heart. You're so deep within your body that you feel so stable, safe, excited. You know the future. You know exactly what's going to happen. You feel that you're in the flow, that the universe is going to give you what you need. Instead of feeling out of the flow, feeling all the fear, right? And allowing yourself to be pissed off. All those fourth dimensional duality perspectives, or even worse, being totally unconscious and just going through the motions and numbing yourself out with vices, which is 3D. And this is why so many people right now are on popping pills, right, or on meds. I actually, my sister-in-law is actually working in a pharmacy right now, and she said that over 10 times the amount of people are now on some type of antidepressant. It's sad because, again, those things are just numbing your ability to feel the energies moving through your body. It's just cutting you off, cutting your brain off from your body. So the same thing as taking, like a painkiller. It doesn't actually get rid of the pain. It just numbs out the signal that your body's giving to your brain. Alert, alert, there's something wrong here. So we numb ourselves, right, with drinking, with shopping. Multitude of ways. It's pretty easy to either look around in your own life and see how you avoid things. So if you're avoiding, you're in 3D, 4D. If you're dealing with stuff as it comes up and you're allowing yourself to get back in your heart and to feel good again, you deserve to feel good. We don't need to be angry 24/7 about all the bad stuff in the world. Trust me, I've been there for years. I was walking around pissed off that no one got it, no one understood, no one saw the stuff that was going on in the world except for me. And again, this is like like over a decade ago. Pissed off 24/7, and eventually you get exhausted. But you deserve to be happy. You deserve to see beyond that. You deserve to get out of a stuck situation. Always go back again on what you can change, what you're doing that is really contributing to you feeling depressed or hopeless or stuck or angry or sad. So again, that's how we choose timelines. So we don't need to think that everyone's going to essentially just disappear, right? When we are completely in a high timeline, when we're existing from a higher timeline, it's interesting how sometimes I walk through parks and things like that and people don't even see me. So people in lower timelines won't be able to see someone that's existing in a higher timeline. But if you're in a higher timeline, you can see multidimensionally all timelines at once, especially once you're in 5D and above, because the 5D is just the initial stages of existing in 0 point, where you can see everything macrocosmically, right? Expanse of everything out there, the planets, the stars, the galaxies, the universes. When we're existing in 0 point of our heart, we also can experience and see all levels microcosmically. We can see our body, we can know it, we can interact with our DNA. We can experience all of the elementals of the earth and interact with them, right? Because these are all just aspects of you. Everything is you. All the aliens, all the weird stuff up here, all the stars, the planets, the galaxies, the whole entire universe, you. And when you're in 5D, you're literally anchoring this entire macrocosm into the center of yourself. There's a knowingness, there's a feeling, there's a seeing. We start interacting with beings of light and then embodying them. And then we also can experience all the earth elementals, power animals. We can interact with our DNA, with our body, all the aspects of self that are microcosmic. So again, our atoms, right? It's the existing in the 0 point, which is 5D. So again, now you can experience things from all dimensions. Once we leave our heart, we're back in 4D or 3D, right? Again, if it's extreme, then we're in 4D. This is separation consciousness at the extreme levels. If we leave our heart and we're just kind of going through it, numbing ourselves out with vices or just going through the programming based on, again, old programming that we've inherited based on through our DNA, through ancestors. What they've went through is in our DNA. Also, past lives, what we've done in past lives, every single thing that's happened to us is in our DNA, is in us. And then of course, right, our childhood, all of us are programmed through many different people. So 3D versus 5D timeline split is the earth splitting. It already has. It's split into infinite levels. Each level is a bigger orb of a field of a grid. Say that again, it didn't make sense. Each level is, it's like those dolls, right? Where a doll fits inside the bigger doll, then the bigger doll, right? That's what dimensions are. Those are the bandwidths of dimensions. 3D is all the attachment, all almost like a bunch of tentacles, all attached out here. 4D is the unwinding of those shoelace knots, those tentacles. Back to now, you become a strong pillar of light, an ascension column, literally attaching yourself to your soul, your oversoul, the universe, and goes on and on, macrocosmically and microcosmically. So you can choose in every moment, or you want to be on 3D Earth or 5D Earth. We are multidimensional. Our 3D self is not just going away. Our 3D self will still be here, but the whole point is our 3D self will no longer be unconscious. It will be connected through the heart vortex with all other levels of self, all dimensions. So anyone that is choosing, right, and again, that's after we do the work, after we do years of healing work, unwinding all of these wormholes, these timeline constructs, all back to 0 point. Now what's going to happen to all the people that are choosing fear? They're choosing to stay in 3D. Are they just going to end up on some other planet and think they're still on Earth? Right, I've heard that lots of times on certain memes and certain people's articles. Or are they going to die, or are they going to just keep suffering? What's going to happen? So what's really going to happen is they're going to experience even more and more suffering, more control, more pressure to, be small, to be a victim. They're going to experience more pain in their own personal life, right? Things are not going to work out for them. More lack, till eventually they wake up, right? This is what happens in the universe, right? The universe is pressuring us to wake up. So if you're choosing fear and you're constantly choosing fear, well, it's just like anything, right? The universe will start with a whisper. Then it gets a little bit louder. Then it's a little smack on the cheek. Then it's a hit over the head. And then, if you just ignore your soul 24 hours a day for many, many years, eventually your physical body is going to be too dense to ascend with the entire planet. Because the entire planet's ascending. It's not just that a few light workers are ascending. The entire planet, which is why all the Schumann resonance is spiking so much. And again, spiking hugely today. We're in for a massive upgrade. And if your physical body is too dense, or you're choosing to continue to be in fear by reinforcing these old thoughts, these old patterns, by walking around being a victim, eventually your body is going to be too dense, and you will choose. Again, your soul always chooses when you die. It's never random. You always choose. So a lot of these souls will choose to shed their body, right? To cross over and to ascend in light just with their soul self, with their energy self. It's because their physical body is too dense in this, in this timeline, in this lifetime. They made too many choices to eat unhealthy or to live in fear, to be around chemicals, right? And again, we all choose. So no one is a victim. But we need to realize that they will get many chances, right? These people in 3D, all the people that are unawake out there, things will ramp up for them big time, over and over again, just like a dial being turned up, till eventually they start seeing what's going on, right? Their body still is upgrading in light, so they're going to start seeing more as well. They will start seeing what's going on in the world a lot more. So really, never be in fear about just all of a sudden having these people go away. It is going to happen where these people in your life that are in 3D, right, that are unawakened, and you're doing the work, you just won't be able to connect as much, right? This has happened to me so many times where you just can't connect with someone, right? Or you don't feel like connecting with someone, or you don't feel like calling someone for months at a time. And it doesn't matter how close they are, it's just how it is, because you're in your timeline and they're in theirs. So they don't really reach out to you, and you don't reach out to them, and eventually it's been months or possibly even years since you've seen them or spoken to them. And this is normal. So it doesn't mean that this person's not going to wake up at all. It just means that right now they're working through their own stuff. And eventually, if they come up in vibration enough, and you're meant to come together again for another reason, or for a cause, or for a long time or short time, it doesn't matter. You will come together again if you're meant to. But we have to be willing to let these people go out of our life right now, because we're moving up and we're doing so much inner work that we can't be distracted by people kind of in the game right now. We need to be focusing on us, on creating new earth, creating the life of our dreams, finding our soul mission. Hey, it's Roxanne, EARTH1111. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, and make sure you share the video. It really helps my videos get out to more people. And comment below what you're going through. It always really helps other people to know that what they are going through is okay.